Hey, okay. So, I always love having me some company in the kitchen. So, today I have a very special guest for y'all, and I'm so excited to be cooking with her. Look, she like cut me in or cut it out. She won't never let me comb her hair either. Say hi, Duda. But today we have Miss Christine and Patterson, right? Am I getting the last? Because I done mixed your last name up with Justina for so many times in my head, and I'm like Peterson and Patterson.
Yep.
So that's right, Christine
Preston.
Patterson.
It's Preston.
Okay. And you have a cookbook out called Clean Plate Fresh Plate. And I love how this cookbook came about. It says here that it was birthed after Christine jump-started her weight loss journey in May of 2020. And as Christine began making a conscious effort to monitor what she put in her body, she noticed a drastic change in her energy, skin, mood, and of course, her weight. She felt it only right to share these new changes in hopes of encouraging others. Christine began sharing pictures and recipes of her clean meals on social media for the sole purpose of giving quick, easy, and delicious healthy meal ideas. It is Christine's sincerest prayer that her readers will feel motivated, encouraged, and hopeful upon viewing and trying out these clean meals. She has coined the statement, "We got this because God's got us." I love that. Love
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be here with you ladies. It's such a privilege. And so I'm excited, a little nervous, but mostly
Don't be nervous.
excited.
This,
No,
this,
but I'm
this,
doing
when,
very
this your
well.
first time doing it live?
Yes, actually.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I did a brief snippet when I was able to was blessed to be the featured chef for the Harmony Fridge Initiative, but it was very short. So this will be my first official time
For
cooking.
the full meal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry. As long as you can cook, that's all you can do is cooking. You just let people see you cook. That's all. Because that's how I was when I first got on here. Because I'm like, oh, okay. Well, other people gonna be cooking with me. No, we had something change up at the last minute, and I was the only one cooking that day. And I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
So now I gotta walk people through what I do, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you all are very warm, and I'm just glad to be here. So thank you for the opportunity.
I'm so glad you decided to join us, and especially since you haven't done this before. I love it. I love it that you got to and that's what's part of the journey, the growth, the taking chances and doing new things. So there you are. Look, another step in your journey.
That's right. Thank you.
So today we are doing a salmon lettuce wrap, and I had to be a little extra with mine, so I ended up going and I had bought some fresh coconuts earlier in the week, and I didn't really have anything in mind to do with it, and then Selena sent me the recipe you were going to do. I was like, oh, okay, and I was like, well, what about like coconut crab? Because you know how like Red Lobster has the coconut shrimp, so I was like, well, can I do a coconut crusted salmon? Sure enough, found the recipe for some coconut. I was like, perfect. Now I got some fresh coconut. Shred that up, put it in the batter, and I got my air fryer, and I'm gonna just rotisserie my salmon so it come out nice and crisp.
Okay, that's gonna be delicious. Yeah,
you gotta see this salmon though. They got these babies at Aldi. It's the whole fish fry.
Yeah, I know. You know what? My brother was looking for those, so I'm definitely gonna tell him that they have those available. Thank you.
Yep, they got them pre-seasoned and regular, just like that.
Okay.
And they have the shorter pieces too. So if you don't want 12, what's this like? How many pounds is this? Like 3 or 4 pounds?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is almost 3 pounds of salmon. So
wow,
they do have like the little half pound and the 1 pound pieces as well too.
Huh. Thank you for letting me know. I love all these. That's my jam.
Oh yeah. That's a come up spot. Okay. I put her down. She immediately go and grabbing stuff. Oh, and instead of regular lettuce, I'm using collard greens because we actually made collard greens earlier. I was like, just save me one of them leaves because the collard green is like this big.
Right.
So I can get like 5-6 wraps out of that.
That's so good. Thank you for saying that. I need to grab the spinach.
Yeah, these are frozen still, so I just picked up pineapple chunks. Because the one by my house, they have been out of these for the long time. It was just the mixed berries and like some other little weird berry something going on. I finally came back and they had them fully stocked. So this is for the mango pineapple salsa. I'm going to put on the wrap. I actually made this salsa. Yes, I came across this salsa probably like a couple of weeks ago. And
Okay.
it seems like it would be like too sweet, but when you add the garlic and the onions and the other stuff that you put in salsa, the
Yeah.
sweet and the savory flavors come together so well. And then you put it on some meat. Oh my goodness.
Wow, that sounds so good, man.
And
Yeah.
I had it chunky, and then after a little bit, it got real juicy. So I just blended it down together, and it made like like a kind of a chunky dip, and that was great with my exadilla. I made a breakfast quesadilla, and I dipped it right on in my little blended mango. Doing a repeat of that, and I didn't get a chance to get cauliflower, so I'm gonna just put broccoli on the side.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds delicious. The one that I'm making is I was telling Selena literally 5 minutes. So mine is a quick and easy recipe. And that's really how, for me, some of this came about. I was just trying things, and because I didn't necessarily coin myself a chef, I wanted to be able to, share stuff that was pretty practical, and that even people that didn't really cook could do this and follow it. So my recipe is quick and easy. This one, so the salmon wrap that I'm making. So, I mean, I'll do it, of course, step by step for you guys, but I'm definitely excited to see yours, because that sounds delicious.
Yeah, I be extra. That's how I got too much time on my hands.
No, you're creative. You're creative. Yeah. So I'm excited to see.
You say, yeah.
You said,
yeah, because
I didn't say that.
The in-between Saturday stuff I come up with. So.
Listen, when I tell you, I could be on Facebook every time I pop on Facebook. She got yet another meal she didn't cook and ain't told nobody about. I be like, come on then. Like,
share with us. No, that's amazing. Well, I'm gonna wipe my hands off. Put these here.
Okay, let me get her situated.
We ready for you, sis. You can go ahead and start.
All right. So to begin, I'm going to go ahead and just grill my bread a little bit. I say bread, but it's a tortilla, a spinach tortilla. I just coat my skillet with some olive oil spray. And I like to use these. Let's put it on this camera. These spinach wrap. They're really good. Really, really good. Only 3 grams of net carbs, high in fiber, 60 calories. And even though I've sprayed the skillet, I also like to spray this a little bit. Just wait on this to heat up. Spray both sides. And I'm going to brown that. So then that way, when I do the salmon, I'll just cut it up and put it in here, and then add the other ingredients to it. So what I'm going to add to mine is some red onion, some red bell peppers, and some diced up pepperoncinis, and also some fresh spinach. And I do have some cheddar cheese. So I'll build this, but then I'll put it in the oven just under the broiler for a little bit, just to kind of melt the cheese some. And actually, I may put the onions and the bell peppers and saute those a little bit, just so they are a little soft. But for my vegetables, I do like mine to still have some bite to them. So I don't want to cook them down too much. I am just grilling this bread.
Yeah, me too. I don't know that the vegetables hit a little different when they still got some firmness to them.
Yeah. And and some people just don't particularly care for that. But I know what I've been told is that when you cook them down, you cook a lot of the nutrients out. Because they're, so keeping them a little firm, just keep some of those nutrients in. But, it's still healthy for you. whether you like them a little well or not so much. So I'm just gonna put that in just for a little bit, not the pepperoncinis, but just the peppers and the onions. So I like cold wraps, but I really like them when they're warm. I like that best. Yeah.
And then you got the rock and the hard place where you like the meat part warm and
Yeah.
cheese melted, and then you want your vegetables and stuff cold and crisp.
Exactly.
And then the sauce, you want the sauce a little bit cold, so then when it hit the meat, so you got to have the different temperatures.
Yeah.
So the reheat tends to be the problem. You be like, dang, but then it's not gonna be cold where I want it to be cold.
Right.
It still tastes good though, because it definitely mix all the flavors in, but it's like
I just like, I don't know if y'all can see it there, but just when it gets a little brown for me on both sides. And actually, so what I'll do once I do the salmon and everything, before I close it up, I'll just keep it open face, so people can see what's in there before I close it up and put it under the broiler. Just a few more seconds for that. So then for my salmon, I don't know if you've seen these McCormick Himalayan pink salt seasonings. I love these. I love these. I'm going to use the black pepper and garlic for the salmon, but I do use this garlic herb and black pepper one sometimes. So for my salmon, I'm just going to use a little paprika, and that's just for color, mostly. And then I'm going to use garlic powder, onion powder, some pepper, and that's all that I'll season this with. So my tortilla is done. I'm going to add a little more oil to this. I'm going to cut my skillet down some. And now I'll go ahead and season the first side of the salmon that I have. So I have the paprika. This is a little hot. The pink Himalayan sea salt mix, the garlic powder, the onion powder. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this side down because this skillet is hot. Hot. I'm going to do 2 pieces of salmon, but I definitely won't use both for this wrap. And it's literally maybe 3 or 4. Can you hear me okay over this?
Yeah.
Okay. Just 3 or 4 minutes for this on each side. It's that. And my skillet is so hot, it might not be as long. And then I'm just seasoning the other side as well. So again, that's just some paprika, some garlic powder, some onion powder, some black pepper, and this all-purpose seasoning. So the pink Himalayan sea salt, black pepper, and garlic.
Sorry, I had to talk, but she in there throwing the whole fish because I can't hold her. But with the salmon cook time, so fish does cook a lot faster than other meats, especially if you have a hot, your skillet and everything hot. But make sure that your internal temperature reaches the proper temperature to make sure that your meat is fully cooked. Yeah, a lot of times I've seen people, because they're like, oh, well, it's salmon, they have it in sushi and it's raw. That's fine. However, the sushi meat is frozen. and then thaw it out because dun dun dun, fish also have parasites, and the only way to kill the eggs and all that other stuff is to freeze it first. So if you get fresh fish, make sure you freeze it before you cook it,
Okay.
or make sure you cook it thoroughly. That's
Got
why
it.
cooking stuff thoroughly is so important, because you don't know what's in none of the stuff that you eat. I don't care, vegetable, grit, all that stuff. It got stuff that you don't know that's in it. That's why we cook our food now. So then we ain't got to worry about it, and you don't have to worry about getting stomach issues and infections and all that other stuff. That's why we live longer now.
I appreciate you knowing that. Yeah, and you're right. And I know, so my brother teases me a lot because he was like, Christine, you like to cook your meat to death. So it's dead again. So that, I mean, because I just like, I mean, that's my preference. I like mine well done, like very well done. And that's another reason why, you know, sometimes I put it in the oven just to, like I said, let it cook a little more and then let that cheese and everything melt. So for the most part, what I'm just doing with this is searing it. And I know you guys can see it. Let me stack it up a little bit. You know,
Yeah.
okay. And again, with the paprika, we know that tastes like nothing. So I just put that on for color to make it look pretty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's exactly how you do that. And then also using thinner cuts of meat, because like the piece of salmon that I have, it goes from pretty thin to like maybe about less than a half an inch to almost like an inch or an inch and a half of thickness. So you have to be mindful of the thickness change in the meat that you're cooking, because then if you have a piece that goes from really thin to very thick, the very thin part will cook first and it could potentially burn. And then you try not to burn that part, you'll end up undercooking the other part. So if you have to slice it to even thickness.
To make it, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to learn that one the hard way too.
But listen, a lot of trial and error for me too.
I had to cut it off and put it back in the pan. Finish cooking.
A lot of trial and error for me too. So I'm going to go ahead and just I coat it often with the olive oil. I do, because I don't want it to dry out. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this off and cut it open because I don't want it to burn. And if it still needs to be cooked some, then I'll cut the fire back on. But you know, fish is so fast.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying, like, the outside of it will cook so quickly, and depending on what you have, like if it's breaded and stuff like that, that might be another thing that keeps the inside from cooking. So it's good to stay mindful of, you know, of that fact. Like, yeah, it cooks fast, but it has to cook evenly in order for it to be properly cooked.
Exactly. And this, thankfully, is done.
And like you doing, don't be afraid to check and make sure it's cooked in the middle.
Yeah.
Go ahead and cut it open. You're so worried. Like, nah, just go ahead, cut it open, check. You can do that.
I'm not, for one, me, I never want to bite into something that's not. That will wear me out. That will wear me out. So I just have this little skillet, because when I put it in the oven, so I spray this with olive oil to you guys that are watching. I'm going to go, this is off, it's just still sizzling. And so I have some cheese that I'll put on the bottom, just some cheddar cheese. A little bit.
Oh, yeah.
You can definitely.
Yeah, please bring that cheese.
You can omit the cheese if you want. For me personally, right now, I'm trying to kind of do away with the dairy. But let me tell you, I love cheese.
Well, cheese isn't the same. It doesn't react in your body the same way plain milk does, because cheese is still processed. It's technically fermented, so it has bacteria cultures and all that other stuff in it that turns it into cheese. So it doesn't even really have lactose in it. So if you're lactose intolerant, get you some cheddar cheese and enjoy, because it's because of the way it's made. The lactose is actually eaten by the bacteria. That's why it becomes cheese.
Okay.
Yeah, because I used to wonder that too. I was like, why is that people that's lactose intolerant can eat cheese and not have and not blow up?
Right.
But they drink a half a cup of milk, and it's World War III.
Yeah. And I mean, and so my body can tolerate dairy, but let me say this better than that. For the most part, but because I have such bad sinus problems,
Oh yeah.
Just put this is some extra salmon that, I mean, I can actually probably just add that to a salad, and that's probably what I'll do today. But I'm going to put my vegetables in here and let those saute a little bit. So I'm going to use a little more of this. But yeah, because of my sinuses, it just causes me up so bad. So that's one reason why I'm trying to do this. So I am also doing a health challenge right now. So I can't have any dairy on that. But when I tell you I love dairy, I love cheese, man. So yeah.
You know they have vegan cheeses now. I think they
They
usually
do.
make them with like nutritional yeast and you know, like the almond milks and stuff like that, so it doesn't actually have milk in it. But I heard it tastes pretty much like cheese. I haven't tried it yet.
I've tried a few brands. I've tried some shreds, and I've tried like some of the whole pieces. The only thing is, I noticed with a few of the types of the whole one, if I make a grilled cheese with it, I usually put it in the oven too. So I'll go ahead and like toast the bread and cheese and stuff, you know, in the skillet. But then just to make it melt some more, it's a little hard to break down. That's just been my experience. But then once it is broken down, it's delicious. I mean, nice and creamy. I've had provolone. I've had
ricotta. I've seen that a lot too. The vegan.
I didn't know they had ricotta.
Oh yeah, they got a vegan ricotta. I found the recipe too. I was like, I was gonna try it on the spaghetti squash lasagna that I did, but I was like, no, I'm just going ahead because it's already got chicken on it. So I'm like, why would I go put chicken on it and then try and do like a vegan cheese? That didn't make any sense. Yeah. I mean, if I was lactose intolerant, that would make sense, but I'm not.
Yeah. So, my apologies. Okay. Sorry, you guys. But yeah, I do like it. I do like those vegan options. The shreds, I don't know what kind they are, and by that I mean I know it's not mozzarella. They're white, so I don't know what if that's supposed to be Swiss or not. But those have been pretty good too. So this is literally done after this. I just, like I said, I'll put it in the oven just for a few minutes to melt the cheese some more. But beyond that's the wrap. And so, you know, just I was talking to Selena earlier. We were talking about the book and how it came about. And just like you read, I had recently embarked on another weight loss journey because I had reconstructive surgery. And on my left foot, my doctor, he had to break the whole foot for the most part, all the toes, rebuild them. And so I couldn't move around like I needed to. And I felt that. I was gaining a lot of weight. And I felt weighted and just all around. So I was like, I have to do something. So I did. I started working with the trainer. And I started changing my eating. And because I've done a weight loss journey before, because I don't have a thyroid. So when I first had my thyroid surgery, my total thyroidectomy, though I was very sick before I had the thyroid taken out, after I had it taken out, I felt much better. But the thing is, my weight shot up. I felt like overnight, but of course it didn't.
Yeah, your thyroid regulates your metabolism. So if you don't have something to regulate your metabolism, you're on your own.
I was on my, and I learned that so before I got the thyroid taken out, I was very sick. I didn't know what was going on with me. I, had gone to the ER, several times, and the doctor there wasn't the nicest man. I hate to say that, but he told me, he was like, "You're sick because you're obese." And I was like, that doesn't make sense. I said, because I've dropped 50 pounds without doing anything. I just lost weight drastically. And though I lost, I was very ill, with losing. I'm going to add a little more cheese to the top, you guys, over my grilled veggies. And I'm going to add some spinach. And so long story short, it ended up being my thyroid. And I had a radiation treatment that didn't work. And so I ended up having to get the thyroid taken out. So after all of that, like I said, I gained all of that weight back very fast. So I had embarked on a weight loss journey then, and I got burned out. on the food. It's like, I was like, I don't want to see another green thing. So I like to not eat. Let me just do water and lose that way. Cause so this time
4
around,
vegetables and 3 meats.
oh my goodness.
And it was and potatoes and macaroni.
Right. So so this time around with me doing this, sharing, was to show people, okay, there are different options. You don't have to be a master chef to do this. You know, you can get practical things and cook them, and it'd be healthy for you, and it give you some variety. Excuse me. So that's how I started sharing these meals. But people started asking me like, hey, do you meal prep? Do you have a cookbook? And I told them no, because I don't. I was like, I'm literally just sharing this, as encouragement, for you all. So that's why I started sharing my meals. I had no idea that a cookbook would be birthed from this, but God knew. And we know that nothing is a surprise to him. And so now we're here. A very dear friend of mine, Nakia Hammonds Blakely, has a publishing company. And she approached me and was like, Chris, what are you doing? Like, you're already posted meals, you're already posted recipes. So let's go ahead and do it. And I told her, I said, Nick, well, let me pray about it. And I said this in another conversation. I did not pray because I knew, whatever God says, I have to do there. Else, you don't rest. And so she was very, she was patient with me, but she did ask again, like, Chris, she was like, it won't take as long as you think it will. You already have a blueprint. And I said, okay, Nick, I am going to pray for real this time. And I did. And he gave me the go ahead to do it. And she was great to work with, though she's one of my very best friends, even on the business side, just like keeping me on schedule, like, Chris, okay, go ahead and submit this. And the process was so much quicker than, I anticipated. And I didn't expect any of this, but my prayer really is like, God, just let me reach who I'm supposed to reach. That's really all I want to do. And I want people to be encouraged. Like that is as important to me as posting these recipes. So in the recipe book, there are, of course, the meals and the recipes, but you'll also see affirmations on every page or every other page, just, encouraging you, because I know on a healthy journey, it can get hard, and we are way hard on ourselves sometimes. And one thing that I like to tell people is to never diminish your progress. It doesn't matter how small you think it is. It's not small. It's progress. It's something new that you did today to help you feel better from the inside out that you didn't do yesterday. So maybe you didn't drink some pop today. You drank water in place of that. That's progress. And one thing that has worked for me and that I always had to do when I do make up in my mind to start on a healthy living journey, because I'm not an expert, but I do know what works to help you feel better from the inside out. It starts with prayer. For me, I have to have a very transparent talk with God. Always like, okay, cake is my favorite food, Lord, and you know this. So help me not crave that as much. Do I want you to take the desire away? No, because I can enjoy that, here and there. But help me to make more of a conscious effort to make better choices for myself. And just telling him what I feel like my shortcomings are, what I feel like I need help with, but also submitting to him and like, God, okay, but you show me. You show me areas in me that need work. You show me where I can do better, and just hand walk me. And that's why, I put that quote, we got this because God's got us, because he does. You're never alone in this journey, and not just for healthy eating, whatever that journey is. God literally takes pleasure in us trusting in him. He wants to do it. Like he wants to do it for us. So man, he's been my strength and my help through this. And I promise you, I just really want to encourage people. That's what I want to do. Tell people I love them every day. That's why I make that post every morning. Y'all up. Good morning. I love you. Because I mean that. And I've had people to kind of question that. Like, how can you say you love me, you don't know me? I said, I just can't. Because God is. You know what I'm saying? So there are so many people that don't hear that. They don't hear I love you. They don't hear I appreciate you. They don't hear, man, you're doing good. And so I feel like God has charged me to do that as much as I can. And so my prayer is that people fill my heart with that. Not me, but, God, God through me. So I'm just thankful. Selena asked me what was next with this. And really, it's whatever God says. Because I honestly, like I said, I didn't know this was coming. So, I'm like, okay. So every opportunity I get to share, when people think enough of me to spotlight me, I do not take that for granted. I promise you. I don't think that anybody owes me that, because they don't. People don't have to believe in you. They don't have to plant a seed in you. They don't have to be kind. So for you all to give me this opportunity just to experience your beautiful energy, both of you all, and your positivity, I appreciate that. So, yeah.
Thank you. And you are definitely appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you. So mine is done. Like I said, I'm going to stick it in the oven. If you all can see it on.
Mm-hmm.
Is it this camera?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's when I take this out of the oven, because I'm just going to put it in under the broiler for a little bit. I'll add a little more cheese to it. I'm just going to put the pepperoncinis on top, and you have it. I'm going to spray a little more olive oil around the pan. And I'm just waiting on this to warm up. Yeah, so literally this would take a person 5 or 10 minutes at the most. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying from cutting the vegetables up to, building it, and eating it. And you can make it and have it for later. Like I said, you don't have to eat it warm. But I prefer mine. Warm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I've also told people that when you do your prep for your vegetables for one meal, if you have the time, go ahead and just prep all your vegetables. So then when you don't have the time, guess what? You already got all your stuff cut up. And that's how I ended up adding all kinds of other stuff to what I was making, because I just had stuff that was already cut up in the freezer and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I got those mushrooms. I got some zucchini. I got some beets. I didn't put beets in all kinds of weirdness because it was just cut up.
Yeah.
That's great
advice. Yeah, that's great advice. I had to learn that the hard way, but because prepping and really prepping was new to me. But I learned that, okay, if I don't prepare, then I'm a jack up, because I'm hungry. I don't have anything to just pull from, that's healthy. So let me just go through this drive-through, and get something. And I don't want to do that. So I had to start, prepping. Even if I just had an idea in my mind, like what I wanted, I would cook at least one meal on Sunday, knowing I would have leftovers for that, and then make sure I cook, more after that. But you're absolutely right with going ahead and cutting up those vegetables, because they keep very well. I learned vegetables, for the most part, keep them sealed, maybe in a plastic baggie and everything, and you can just pull from.
And especially with them being cut up, it's easier to store them. So I definitely found, because you have this big old head of lettuce. This is how much space it takes up. When you chop it up and you cut it, you can actually mash it down and lay it flat, and then you now have more room. And with me, I get a ton of vegetables. At least half of my grocery haul or more is vegetables, and I get 2 or 3 packs of meat or something to go with it throughout the week. But for the most part, most of what I get is vegetables and fruit, and I have to stay mindful when I got it, so it doesn't go bad, wilt on me and stuff, because when it's fresh, I want it fresh, and then as it starts to go bad, then that's when I freeze it and I use it as a frozen add-in, on my omelets or something else I'm sauteing or cooking. I can just throw in some frozen spinach, some frozen kale, some frozen, the stuff that usually is wilted and have that weird taste when it gets all that brown juice on it. So but I can't brown juice. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. It's this. It seems like a lot going on because of what I said I was going to do to it, but the most part of what I'm doing is actually going to be cutting up this salmon. So I have a food scale here, because you see this giant piece of salmon I have. I absolutely have to weigh my pieces. So I'm aiming for like 3 to 4 ounce pieces per little slice here, and then I'm gonna just bag it up and freeze it. Whatever I don't cook today.
Well, I'm gonna watch you and just let you do your thing. But mine is done, so I'm finished with mine. I'm just gonna add the pepperoncinis on top of it. If you want to add a little more spinach, because of course it does well down a little bit in the water, but I'm finished. So this is the rest.
Yeah, that was real good.
Thank you. So I just actually it looks more like a taco because I don't know if I've been.
It does though. It does with the tortilla and stuff. But hey, that's essentially all tacos are. It's just some meat, cheese, and something wrapped up in a tortilla.
Yep. Well, there you have it for mine. I am done. I can wrap this up in some foil and just hold on to it for later. And that's what I do. Can you guys see it?
And salmon, it has so many benefits. Like salmon and mackerel. So the first piece I had was like 2.7 ounces. This one is like 3.8. So I'm trying to stay between 3 and 4 ounces because anything more than that, you're doing way too much with your meat and you're gonna have digestion problems and all of that. Like you gotta give your body time to digest the stuff. So
you're right.
Don't overdo it in one sitting.
So you said 3 or 4 ounces?
Yeah, that's good. Okay. Especially because I'm having so many vegetables with it. I don't want to overtax my digestive system. That's all. And
I will keep that in mind too.
Oh yeah, especially for the meat, because like with red meat, like a lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm gonna stop eating beef. Actually, you don't have to stop eating beef. Just don't eat so much of it, because like we don't think about how many different ways we eat beef. You have ground beef. You get it in hot dogs. You can get it in. You can eat it as a burger or ground up in, or like crumbled up in something. Tacos, spaghetti, steak. There's so many different cuts of steak. All of that is beef. You got beef chops. You got beef. Whatever. So when you have it in every single meal, that's a lot of red meat. If you're eating 3 ounces of beef for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you've now eaten almost a pound of beef in one day. And it takes your body like some hours, like a lot of hours, like more than normal. Let's say you process chicken at like 2 or 3 hours, it would take you almost twice that time to digest the beef. And that's if you have like, your digestive system is working and, your metabolism and stuff is going well and all of that stuff. If that's the case. But if you're struggling in that area, it's going to take even longer. So a lot of times the waste that's coming out is probably that beef that you ate last week. So imagine you have something in your digestive system for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days or more, like days, mind you. Now, you left that same piece of meat sitting out on the counter for 7 days. It's gonna be stinking. It's gonna have all kinds of stuff growing on it. And imagine what it's doing in your body. And you have bacteria that's sitting there eating on it. And it's bacteria that also doesn't belong in your body that's in there eating on it. And so now, like, you have all of this stuff building up on top of. So I tell people, make sure you're getting your vegetables in, because that's the fiber that's going to scrape all of whatever meat you was eating. It's going to scrape it off your intestine, and it's going to make it go ahead and come on out so you can enjoy your next meal.
Yeah.
And I also found that when I started doing that, I was actually able to enjoy my food more. Like, food tasted better because I didn't already feel like stuffed or over full.
Mm-hmm. You are absolutely right.
Okay, I'm in the rough part of the skin because they left a lot of skin on this. It got scales and everything.
Really?
Like, they got fish. Like, this is fish. Okay. I just need enough pieces to fill my rotisserie.
Okay.
So they don't slide all over the place and start rotating. Okay, and that one is 4 ounces, almost on the nose.
Okay.
So just to give like a visual of the size. So this is about 3 or 4 ounces of meat. The recommendation is the palm size of your hand. You don't want your meat to be too, more than that size on your plate. So this kind of, for like a thing to see, it's very greasy. Because the best part about salmon is it's super high in omega-3 fatty acids, which is an anti-inflammatory oil that your body needs. It's great for your heart. It helps with inflammation in your arteries, like everywhere. And it also counteracts the effect of omega-6 fatty acids, which is mostly found in a lot of different vegetables and the oils and things that we use. And that is a inflammatory fat. It is still useful, but having it in too high amounts will actually increase the inflammation in your body. So the omega-3s balance it out. So fish has a balanced amount of omega-3s and 6s, so you don't get that that inflammation from it. And actually they have a higher amount of omega-3s than omega-6s. So that's why they're a very good source. In fact, they're probably like the best source of omega-3s because there's a bioavailable form of it, which is the EPA and the DHA.
Okay.
Because I know you've probably seen it in like a vitamin supplement and they call it either EPA or DHA. Those are the ones that are fish derived. And if you're allergic to fish, you probably, unless they say it's synthetic, you definitely want to check and make sure it's not a derived from fish, because you will have an allergic reaction.
Wow.
The other not so I guess readily available form you can get from like chia seeds, I believe, like broccoli, kale. Like there's a lot of non-meat sources of omega-3s, but it's a little bit harder for our body to process it and absorb it. So you would have to eat it in higher amounts for it to be as effective as the ones you would get from fish. So you can eat fish, get you some fish at least once a week. And I'm really going off of what the doctor told me when I was pregnant, because this is advice they give pregnant women, because your body is going to need a lot more nutrition. So they want to make sure you're getting it from the best sources. And so they recommend you eat fish at least once a week. Like I said, you want to watch how many ounces you're eating in one serving, but if you want to eat more, by all means, go ahead. But like I said, try and keep it per in that meal. But however much you want to eat throughout the day, that's fine. And also just getting creative with how you do it. So we might be doing some salmon croquettes soon too. Ooh. But I'm about to batter this up.
Okay.
So I got my coconut. And the coconut was super easy to do. So all I did was just I have a hand drill, and I just drill holes into the little indentations on it, poured the coconut water out. So this is what I poured. This is what I poured out of the coconut. I haven't filtered it yet. So it's still got like a little few of the coconut pieces and stuff in it. But this is straight out the coconut water. It's going to be a little brown like that because the coconut inside is a little brown.
Okay.
But the what did I do with my coconut meat? Okay. And so then I was like, okay, now how do I get it out of the shell? So you can bake it, and when you bake the coconut long enough, it'll get a crack in it. And it almost practically cracks itself open as you dry it. And you want to bake it on low, like 300, 325 degrees. I think they said like 15, 20 minutes. And then when you pull it out, it'll have a big crack in it. And you can just pry the crack open if you're not trying to like keep the shells for for like bowls or like to use as a cup to drink out of. Mm-hmm. Then you can just do it like that, and then just crack it with a hammer, and it'll go ahead and crack open. Or you can do the oven thing, and you can pry it open, and that will get you more pieces that stay intact. And so these are my little coconut pieces, and I'm gonna set this on the side of my wrap, and I'm gonna put, because I thought I had some broccoli. No, the broccoli was gone too. So I don't have cauliflower and I don't have broccoli to go on the side, but what I do have, banana peppers.
I love those.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm gonna put my banana peppers and my little salsa and stuff in my coconut bowl, and then I can just make it cute. Make it cute for now.
I love that. Yeah, no, I know that's going to be delicious.
So this is just a little piece of coconut meat, and the coconut meat is actually the juice that that turns into the coconut meat. So
Okay.
the more coconut meat there is, the less juice it's gonna have. But I lucked up and I got some coconut with a lot of coconut juice in it. So this is about 8 ounces of coconut water. Let me get my grater. And then because I'm using my own coconut and doing it from scratch myself, I can actually make my coconut shreds finer. And
Okay.
that was a big problem I was running into when I was buying the store-bought coconut, the shredded coconut. The pieces were so long and thick because they're usually used in like bacon and stuff like that. When I tried to use it to fry, the pieces would, they would fall off, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So now I can make it finer. And it'll be actually in the batter. So I love to sit and think and do some problem solving. The biggest solution I found is that when you do it yourself, you usually get what you want.
Oh yeah, that's true. You make it how you like it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I realized that after a little bit into my journey that I was sacrificing not just like health and nutrition for convenience, but also like really what I wanted, like stuff that I actually wanted, how I wanted it to taste, what I wanted in it, like all of that stuff. Like if you're gonna buy that at a store, you're gonna get the generic version because not everybody is gonna like it. And they're trying to sell it to as many people as possible. So they're gonna not have a lot of the stuff that you personally will probably want in it.
Mm-hmm. No, you're totally you like.
Okay, and this is let me see if you can see this because this thing it likes to tip over on me every now and then.
Okay.
So I'm trying to set the stand where it won't tip over on me. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, look at that.
There it goes. It's trying to go. Okay. So you see it's really fine. It almost looks like flour itself.
It does.
And so this is gonna really coat the salmon. And then that's another thing. Coconut is not sweet. People kind of confuse the artificial coconut flavors and the coconut flavored this and that. And when they taste real coconut or things that were made with real fresh coconut, they're like, oh, well, why does it taste like that? Because it's fresh. It's not artificial. They didn't add other stuff in it to make it taste good to you or to anybody who doesn't normally eat fresh coconut. And so that was another like kind of hump I had to get over when I started doing a lot of my own cooking. It wasn't tasting like the stuff I was buying at the store because it was fresh. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, it probably doesn't taste good because there's not a whole bunch of sugar and stuff in it.
Mm-hmm. And that's something I didn't really think about. But you're right, in its natural state, it would not be as sweet.
But also, when you leave behind all of those added sugars, you reclaim a ton of calories. So it makes it easier for you to create a caloric deficit for you to get that weight loss kind of jump started. Because that's kind of like one of the basic tenets of weight loss. Have a calorie deficit.
Right. That's true.
The easiest way to do that is to eat fewer calories and work out. When you work out, you burn calories. So it actually takes away from what you've eaten that day.
Yep.
And that's another thing too. A lot of people be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just work it off. And But if you don't work out that day, you are not working off whatever you ate that day.
Right.
When you work out, your body is going for immediate fuel. So whatever you have available right then is what your body is going to use when you work out to fuel it. So yeah. Don't put the gym off if you know you've been packing in the calories that day. Go ahead and get you a quick little 30-minute something in and go on about your business now.
That is right.
And then I got my girl Mia's so good seasoning on deck. So I got the garlic, peppercorn, herb.
Huh.
This one is kind of spicy. That peppercorn, it definitely hit the taste buds, but it's not like overpowering hot. It has a nice little kick to it.
Okay.
And then the Mia's also everything. Okay. And then this one, I love this one because I looked up and I was like, oh, she didn't put curry in the seasoning, and it does, and you can taste it, but it's not like, I don't know, it don't have like that curry like taste. It has, it's like a sweet heat that it adds to it. So
Okay.
I like that.
That coating looks delicious. I know it's just raw, but
I know, right? And it smells so good. Like it's getting me very, very prepped and ready to taste this when it's done.
yeah.
So I got my basket here.
Okay.
Where's my other piece of parchment paper to try and reduce the mess? We're gonna try. You know that don't always happen in cooking. So I'm actually and with these you can either leave the skin on or you can take the skin off. I'm probably just gonna leave the skin on because it's not that deep for me. The skin is really just a texture thing. So if you don't like the skin, I would say go ahead and fillet it off, slice it off. But if you don't mind the skin, trust me, it ain't gonna do nothing to you.
Some people like that. They like to crisp it up. Me personally, I
Mm-hmm.
but like
Like
I'm
little salmon chips.
loves it. He loves the skin.
Okay, we just rolling it all in this thing, making sure it gets fully coated. And then I'm gonna just set that in there. And then once I get all my pieces in there, spray it down with some olive oil. And they snap when they put the olive oil in the spray can. I was like, what? And it's a non-aerosol. I was like, what? Y'all care about the environment and my convenience. I appreciate you.
I just want to respond to Selena and tell her my absolute pleasure. Thank you all again for the opportunity. This has been so beautiful.
Yes, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. And like you said, it's very simple, but it's so flavorful. And you can do so much with it with the stuff that you put on top of it.
Yeah, I just like to have some substance, and I want you to be satisfied. So like you said, a big way to do that is through your vegetables.
Yep.
Get enough of that in there, so you limit the meat, but with vegetables, not necessarily. You have to, and then you can still even add maybe a side of spinach to it, like a spinach salad or whatever,
Yep.
for a full meal, and then you're full for a nice amount of time.
Exactly.
And then getting your water in.
That water, that's what got me through it, man. Because I wasn't drinking a lot of water, and then once I really focused on getting my water for the day, like I was too full on water to even eat most.
Yeah. And I mean, it really does work like that. Because I've been one that I say, man, it's hard to get it down, but once your body gets acclimated to it, it will fill you up.
Yeah, and then you'll be looking for it too. Because I started getting like thirsty for it. Like, oh yeah, it's water time.
You are absolutely right. Love you too, Selena. Thank you so much. Now, in a minute, Doc, I'm going to cut my camera off, but I'm still going to be tuned in.
No problem.
Because I have another commitment, but I have absolutely loved this. I so appreciate it.
Yeah, the salsa honestly is like the star of this little thing, because I told like that, like putting it on stuff, and like I said, blending it down, and you can like mix it in other stuff, and like it really like got real versatile real quick, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a summertime hit. We definitely putting this in everything.
That looks delicious. I mean, just the way it's coated, it's so even and pretty, and I love pretty food.
Yep.
makes me want to eat it. So.
Oh yeah, and that took time too to make stuff look like it was edible. Cause before my plates, they did not look like nothing you would want to eat. But once you like took a bite, like, oh, this tastes really good. So I had to add that extra time on it to learn how to make my food look like how it tasted.
Yeah. Well, I love you, sis. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I'm just gonna hop off my camera and everything, but bless you guys and thank you so much again. Okay.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Okay.
Anybody who wants to reach out to her, I believe we have her information at the bottom of the screen, Miss Christine Preston. Thank you for joining us and sharing with us your journey, your mission, and how you got started. So we appreciate you for being an example of what taking a risk on yourself looks like, and being obedient and listening to God looks like.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you all. Bless you, okay?
Bless you. Enjoy your weekend. So now, oh, I got this on the whole wrong side. I always do this with this one for some reason. I go and set it down, I'm like, but now I can't fit it down because it's the wrong side. So this is my little rotisserie basket for my salmon, and this gonna lock it in place. And let me make sure this other side is oiled up properly, because if you don't, and the thing with the air fryer is, if whatever part is not oiled or have some type of oil or liquid or something on it, it is not going to get crispy. It's going to be flour. So you got to make sure you get it coated nice and even. Let me see, because this, my olive oil spray is out, so I'm gonna use, I got a little bit of avocado oil I can spray on these parts to make sure. Because like I said, I want all the floury part, I want that to be coated. So it can be crispy. And then we just set this. I'm gonna pull you over here so you can see. And then we're gonna get to making the salsa while this is cooking. So you can see me here. And then just put in our attachment. Okay, and that's that. And we're gonna hit the 360 rotisserie. It says 30 minutes, but it's not gonna take 30 minutes. So once it's nice and crisp, it should be done, and then we can let it rest and it'll finish cooking. And so like a point that she had brought up was that was how you can end up with the where you can be done cooking it, but the inside will still need to cook, and you can finish cooking your food by letting it rest. That's why when you bake or when you oven cook certain like beef cuts and things like that, if you follow a recipe, it'll tell you cook it for this amount of time and then take it out the oven and let it rest. The resting time actually is finishing cooking it to a certain extent, and then letting the juices and stuff kind of even back out, because when you cook it, all the juices kind of go, because now they're getting heated and they're about to get evaporated off, so they're going to be higher, and then when you let it rest, the juices settle back out and flow throughout the rest of the meat. So for people that want to be hanging around the oven and stuff waiting for stuff to cook and rush it and all of that, that is why it tastes better as a leftover, because you didn't let the stuff finish getting back all through the meat and stuff. So that's why you don't cook hungry. So and then I got my Ninja. So okay, I got my onions. So like I said, prep work saves time. So I already got some onions cut up. I got my bulk garlic. So I'm gonna take a couple of these garlic cloves. And because if I didn't have my Ninja, I was absolutely gonna have to let this fruit thaw out, because it's still very much frozen. And I'm not putting frozen salsa on my wrap. Okay. So I can move this. This is the bag. I'll put this in the fridge. Put my coconut water back in the fridge. So I will keep that mango butter roasted cauliflower in mind, and when I actually have some cauliflower, I'm gonna show y'all how to do that, and I'm gonna make the mango butter from scratch, because it's super easy. You literally just blend mangoes with butter. It's that simple. But I'm also gonna make some coconut butter so y'all can see how easy it is to do that because it's literally just blending coconut until it's smooth and creamy like butter. So I love how easy it is. Like, and that was another thing that kind of held me back from doing and trying a lot of stuff. Is like when you think about doing stuff from scratch, like it made like saying from scratch makes it seem like it's so much harder than just from scratch than just that. So I don't know. I just thought about it. I might have to find a different plug for this. I don't know. We'll see. If the air fryer turns off, it's because I had too much stuff going on this one plug. But I definitely ended up having to reassess how I felt about trying new stuff. And trust me, like how Christine said, when you get tired of eating the same 4 or 5 different meals, you're gonna figure something out, and that's what I did. So you don't have to, do it on your own, because I didn't. I definitely used those food services. All they do is just send you the food. Like they'll send you a box with the food and the recipe, tell you how to cook it. They have like videos and stuff that walk you through how to do it. Like that's what I'm doing. So and they'll send you all the ingredients plus and the recipe, and that's how I expanded the stuff that I cook now, stuff that I try, all of that. So that was like training wheels and really got me into doing that. So let me see how many clothes we're gonna do this. So we're gonna do. Oh, it helps if I put the blade in there. About to blend something without a blade. Where they do that at? So let's see so you can see what I'm putting in here. Now the thing with this little ninja thing, it has suction cups on the bottom of the base, and so it will very quickly. Here, maybe if I put it all the way over here, I think that would make more sense. Can you see that better? Yes, there we go. This is my shake from earlier. When I first tried my blender, I was like, so that means I can put spinach in it, and it's not gonna still be spinach, whole pieces of spinach. When I go to drink my shake, and it wasn't. So I was happy. So and I'm actually these are orange. They smell so sweet. These are orange pieces that I had cut up so my orange wouldn't go bad on me. So I'm gonna put some of this in here too. And the thing about using a food processor or a blender to make your salsas and your dips and all that stuff is you get to pick how chunky you want it by using the post setting. So this has like just a blend and go setting, like you just throw it in there and it'll just go ahead and blend. Let's see, this is, and I'm eyeballing this, y'all. So this is like about a half a cup, of each of these I'm putting in here, but we obviously don't end up with extras, so it's okay. And then put my food back in the freezer. I have to go pick up. And then pineapples. Now the pineapples are sweet. Now this is what's going to really give you the sweetness, because a lot of people don't understand mangoes, especially store-bought mangoes or mangoes, aren't as sweet as you would think they are. Like I said, those artificial flavors be having us out here messed up, thinking that stuff tastes a certain way, and it definitely does not taste that way at all. At least not in nature. So the pineapples will definitely sweeten it up. And then I'm gonna put my onions in here. Yeah, these are sweet onions. So you want to make sure you're using sweet onions and not the yellow onions, because the yellow onions will definitely give it that a very, very oniony taste. and it'll overpower the fruit, and you don't want that to happen. Unless you really like onions, then go ahead and knock yourself out. But I ain't one of them. Let's see, am I forgetting something? No, I think that's it. That's it. We'll find out. So this has like a rock feature, and I like that. I love safety features. Look at my phone trying to down me. I got 20%. We'll make it. We'll make it. And so now we just post it. I love this blender. So y'all don't understand. I don't think y'all understand how life changing. How life changing. Bruh. I just made salsa with three of these. Three of these. You see that? Salsa. I'm so excited. Boy, oh, this summer. Ooh. Oh, this summer about to be, oh boy, okay. And you know I wasn't gonna leave out my sweet peppers. My sweet peppers. And that salmon about done. Oh, I smell it. Oh, it smells good. What? Wait, y'all gotta see this juice drip. Y'all gotta see. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. So it's actually cooked now, and I'm gonna turn the temperature up so it can go ahead and crisp the outside. So I'm gonna just put it on 400 for a minute or two. So, because like I said, the fish is done and it's juicy and it's ready. And my salsa, this smells. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So do you see this? And then my salsa dip bowl. So I'm like the queen of reusing stuff. Remember that feta bowl? This was actually the feta that I used for the spaghetti squash lasagna. And I kept the bowl. So this is what I've been putting my guacamole in, my other dips, my salsas, reduce, reuse, recycle, reduce, reuse. Okay, I love my planet too much to be out here acting too bougie to reuse some stuff that I ate something out of in the first place. Make it make sense. Okay, I'm gonna do this night. Y'all don't understand the things that the salmon smell is putting me through. Okay. Now the thing with this salsa is now this is super duper fresh. It's gonna taste like chopped up fruit and and garlic and onion. That's exactly what it's going to taste like. Now once it sits and it sits in the refrigerator overnight, I put my lid on it. Now when I come back to it, that's when the juices and the flavors are gonna be all mixed in and all of that, and it's gonna, oh my goodness, and that's when it's gonna do, when it's really gonna snap. But I'm still putting this fresh salsa on my wrap. Oh, that is definitely still gonna be a thing. I'm just letting y'all know that when y'all make salsa, make sure that you don't make it like right before you need it, because it's gonna be a whole different taste. So you want it to sit, and it does say this in the instructions. You want it to sit at least 4 hours before you serve it. If you're serving it like that day or immediately, you want it to sit for 4 hours, and that's gonna let the seasonings and the juices in. I'm actually gonna add a little bit of salt and some of this herb thing. Yep, Some of this me is so good seasoning, herb thing seasoning. I'm putting some of that in here too. Yes, ma'am. And that's gonna definitely I'm trying to figure out why the salmon's so juicy. Cause this thing is just sizzling. It's just a sizzling like crazy. And that breading is so like, oh my gosh. Oh, so I just want to say I love anybody who invented, created an air fryer that is beautiful and works. And the ninja people, I love you too. See, that's how you know when you really into cooking, when you get excited over appliances. So this is done. I'm just waiting on my fish to finish crisping up, and then I'm gonna plate it for y'all. And then once we get out of here, I'm gonna finish cutting up my salmon pieces, and I'm gonna wrap them in some parchment paper and freeze them. And then I have, because that whole piece of salmon was like $21. Now, mind you, if you get like the 1 pound or the 2 pound, like that was like almost 3 pounds of salmon. You get like the little piece, like the pieces like this big. That's like one of those that I cut off of there, and they're gonna charge you like almost $4 for that one piece. So it actually is better to just buy it in bulk and then cut it yourself. And then that way, like I said, you can also cut the pieces how you want them to be. You see, when you do it for yourself, you get it how you want it. So let me get my plate together. I was gonna try to do that, but like I said, that Ninja, the base on this thing, it has little suction cups under it, and it immediately like grabs the countertop like. So it's like if you're trying to blend like I don't know concrete or something in it, it's not gonna fall off your counter because it'll make it vibrate and all of that stuff, and it'll get the shaking and bouncing up. So it stabilizes itself. I love it. Then my cheese, my favorite cheese, pepper jack. You can put pepper jack cheese on anything, and I'll probably go ahead and eat it. I'm like, is pepper jack on this? All right, yeah, give me some more of that. I'm looking for my leaf because my mom cooked the other collard greens, and I told her just save me a leaf. So this is my collard green leaf. So yeah. Oh, let me check the salmon. Oh, yep, this is it. Oh, this is it. Cause the what now? And so the oil that you see dripping, that's not fat. Fish don't really have fat. That's the omega-3 fatty acids. So those are the omega-3. So the greasier the fish is, especially if it's raw, the more omega-3s it has. So mackerel, super duper high in omega-3s. I think that's probably the fish that's the highest in omega-3s. Salmon is like a close second. So if you get you some mackerel and some salmon in your diet, like once or twice a week, the difference. You will see. I'm telling you, the difference. I'm gonna bring y'all over here while I get my plate together. And this is raw. I'm not cooking this leaf. This is what I'm just gonna wrap it. So it ain't got beat up and folded a little bit, but it's cool. Okay, so you just take the leaf, set it on there, and fold the other piece back up. Right in that. Bang. And I gotta get the holder for this because that thing is hot. It's hot. And they sent a convenient little rotisserie grabber. I'm pretty sure that's not the name, but this is my rotisserie grabber. I'm gonna grab my rotisserie rack. I need a plate. And we're just gonna pull another paper plate out, and I need a paper towel so I don't burn my fingers. Okay. And so now I gotta try and get this rack out of the fish. There we go. Release my fish. One of the pieces ended up sticking on the other side to the rack because like it basically cooked around the rack. But it's okay. This smells so good. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so crispy. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Look. Would you look at that? Yep. Mm-hmm. And that's because I did what? Because I put that Mia's oh so good up on there. Now it's oh so good. And it was super like that. I'm telling you, man, that just made my day. That was like so easy. Because usually I have to pull like 8,000 different seasonings from this cabinet. Got to pick behind that, dig behind that. Like, where's the rest of my... I ain't even have to do all of that because Mia was looking out for you, girl. She was, though. She was. And then, y'all know I'm finna get real fancy on y'all, right? Well, look. Hold on. Wait till you see this. Wait till you see what I got going on with this. Because who can't what? And who ain't what? Right. All right. And then we got a little bit. So this is actually the anise that I had dried up from the last recipe that we did. So the butternut squash soup that we made, I had that big bowl of fennel and had all these leaves coming out the top of it. All I did was just stretch the leaves out on some parchment paper on a pan in the oven and cooked it on 300 degrees for 3 hours. Well, not cooked it, but dried it for 3 hours. And it's a very nice, slow, dry process, and then let it sit in the oven overnight to finish drying. And then you get this little type of herb. And it's called anise, and it's the leaves of fennel. So you get all of the nice little benefits of the fennel plant without having to actually have like fennel bulb and stuff in your food. But it makes for a very pretty garnish, if nothing else. So this is all I got. And if you want to put like if you want a sauce, I would say definitely be mindful of your serving sizes for those sauces. Cause some of them it'll say like a tablespoon. A tablespoon is not a lot. 2 tablespoons for the maple syrup I have. It says 4 tablespoons. So the nutrition facts are for 4 tablespoons of syrup. I don't ever use 4 tablespoons because that's a ton of sugar. Maple syrup is like ton of sugar. If you're using 4 tablespoons, you're using too much. Especially in one day, unless it's like a recipe for a bigger portion, but if you just putting that on one portion for you to eat, that's too much. So I got my pepper jack here, and I'm just gonna sprinkle some on top of my little collard green wrap. But I don't want to cover up the chicken too much. I mean the fish too much because I want you to see. Man, look. And Mia, I just want to say right now, thank you, because this just made this like so super easy to season, and I taste that little corner. It's so delicious. So this is my finished product. This is the salsa with my little anise on top. This is actually one of the things. I'm gonna put that out of there because it don't look good. So and I added the red sweet peppers to add some color to it because everything I used was orange basically. The mango, pineapple, and orange was basically orange. So that was just to add a little flare color. And then this salmon cooked to perfection, okay, with that Mia's oh so good seasoning on it. I used the everything seasoning and the garlic peppercorn. And then I got my favorite cheese on top. And then I just wrapped it in a collard green leaf. So like I said, if you're using like you can use the tortilla wrap. So they have tortilla wraps like the one that Christine used. That's all already prepared, and they keep longer. They also have like the gluten-free ones, the alternative flour one. So they've really grown that selection to a very wide selection. You can find things that fit your dietary preferences and excuse me, and needs. If you don't have something on hand, because this is actually how I learned how to do not learn, but how I figured out that a lettuce burger is actually pretty good, because I thought I had buns and I didn't. I made a burger and I was like, oh, I ain't got no buns. So I just wrapped it in some lettuce and called it a day, and it was bomb. Okay. And sometimes I don't know, the bread might get in the way. So here's a wonderful alternative. And a lot of times people think like when you do a lettuce wrap or you do a type of leaf wrapped things, people forget collard greens are leaves. Collard greens are right up in that same family with the lettuces and the other kale and the big green leafies and the Swiss chards and all of that. They right up, they're still leaves. Like we get so caught in like a pot of greens, like you can leave it raw and eat it just like that, and just wrap your food in it. So that is it. That is all. This fish just turned out way better than I could have even imagined it. Like I had this vision in my mind, and even the vision wasn't even close to what. I'm excited, and I can't wait to dig in. And this was just so much fun to make. It was so much fun being on this show with Christine Preston, and I'm so glad that you decided to join us and share some of your story and your journey with us. And I'm just glad that we were able to have this platform to bring you on and showcase the wonderful example that you've become along your journey. And I just hope that that whoever needs to see it sees it. Okay, because just like your mission is to get people out here eating better and taking the time for themselves and with their food, that is exactly what we're here for as well. So if you're watching and you want to be featured as a guest on our show, please contact myself or Selena K, and we will definitely get you in here one of these Saturdays, and we can burn it up in this kitchen. Okay. So with that being said, and before I go, I gotta say, because it's right around the corner. We got our Rock True Queens Conference, Adjust Your Crown, coming up May 6th. Okay, so like I said, right around the corner. That is this Thursday. It is free. You can go to Eventbrite and you can register on Eventbrite. You will get notified. They'll send you the email. They do all the cool Eventbrite stuff with the reminders and all of that, so you can be locked in and not miss it, because we are coming with buffet style food for your soul and a whole plethora of gems for your crowns. So make sure you are locked in and tuned in. Grab your friends, grab your sister, your auntie. Hey, men, y'all can watch it too. Y'all can get that same type of love that we all need, because y'all wearing crowns too. It don't, just because y'all men don't mean y'all ain't got a crown that y'all need adjusting, that y'all need some jewels for. Okay, so come and get your food. and definitely keep supporting. We love the support. It shows us that the work that we're doing, that we're being called to do, is reaching the people who need it the most. And we love your support. Like, if we could not do this without y'all support. And it just feels good connecting with people. So I'm gonna dig in, because I'm hungry now, smelling this stuff. But thanks for tuning in, and rock truth or nothing at all.
Pretty eyes, we shine the light on whatever's worse. Perfection is a disease of a nation. Pretty eyes, we shine the light on whatever's worse. Trying to fix something, but you can't fix what you can't see. It's the soul that needs a surgery.
Let's go. I don't know what you're going through, but we stopped by to tell you that what's in front of you is bigger than what's behind you. Your destiny, your promise, your future. You might as well shout before you get it, because God sent me here to tell you that what he has for you is gonna be big.
I believe
That it's my season.
that it's my season.
You ought to declare that over your own life. Say, I believe
I believe
that it's my time.
that it's my time.
It's my time.
It's my time.
And I can feel it.
I can feel it.
Say, breakthroughs in the room.
Breakthroughs in the room.
It's yours if you want it. Anticipating.
Anticipating.
God's getting ready to move.
God's getting ready to move.
Listen, you ought to declare this over your own life. Say it.
For I know
God,
my God
he's working
is
a miracle
miracle
just for me.
Just for me.
And it's gonna be.
And it's gonna be big.
Hey! Listen, I don't know about you, but I'm excited about my future. Why? It's gonna be big, yeah!
And it's gonna be big.
I'm running into destiny, shouting into my promise. Why? God's gonna
open the windows of heaven. Pour me out a blessing.
I won't have room.
Be wrong to contain it.
Can't even try to explain it.
But it's gonna be big.
God is gonna blow your mind.
God is about to blow my mind.
Yeah. God's gonna
Open the windows of heaven. Pour me out a blessing.
You won't have room.
Be wrong to contain it. Won't even try to explain it.
Why?
But it's gonna be big.
God is about to blow your mind.
God is about to blow my mind.
Hey! And it's gonna be. It's gonna be. It's gonna be big. It's gotta be big. Lord, let it be. Hey. My future is big. My destiny's big. My blessing is big. My promise is big. The new job will be big. My future is big. Lord, let it be big. And it's gonna be. Hey, God is about to blow your mind.
Is indeed a key. I'm going to start by intro. So I heard from a bird
And welcome to Rock Truth.
in the Bible.
I won't have room.
Be wrong to contain it. Won't even try to explain it.
Why?
But it's gonna be big.
God's about to